took a while, but Boucher's not going to be back. He ran the Leafs power play last year, 7th in the regular season, 24%, 4.8%, as you always like to bring up on this show in the playoffs, which is just staggering. And then furthermore, not a big shocker, but according to Elliot Friedman from the 32 Thoughts podcast, Boucher wanted to be considered for the head coaching job before Berube got it. So you could understand, like, the writing could have been in the wall. I'm sure he interviewed. I'm sure he talked to them about the job. Ultimately, it goes to Berube, but it lasts 1 year. And it's pretty incredible how long of a year it was from, if you recall, when Boucher came in, a lot of people wondered if he could be the guy handpicked by Brendan Shanahan to be the next head coach, considering he was the number 2 a couple of years back if Babcock didn't get it.
Yeah, he's had some success. I think he's been to the conference finals a couple of times. I think, with Tampa, he had some success some points in time in Ottawa. He went over to like Swiss or Sweden or something for a few years before this. By all accounts, of a guy who knows hockey and has been around, and that's great. But I don't think you consider him for the job just because he's already, like, you need a new voice. Like what's wrong with the Toronto Maple Leafs is almost unspeakable. Like, how can they not score? How can you build a team where everyone says, oh, you can't do that because you'll be too thin on D and in net and you'll get lit up? But they're like, no, we're doing it anyway. And then they don't get lit up on D and in net really, but they can't score a bloody goal and then go for under 5% on the power play. It's this unspeakably unknown, like, how, like, no one can explain it. So to keep a guy in-house to run that show, like, it has to come from outside in my mind. You can't just give it to a guy that's already there because it's just too familiar. It's just too much more of the same, whether his message is or not different. It's the same face, same guy, same outlook. I really think you had to go outside to do it. And then just based on the fact that he was kind of in charge of that power play and how much did he just let the players do their thing and how much did he demand play this system, use this entry, use this setup? I don't know. But the fact that it was struggling mightily and he didn't have any answers, any changes, anything to, get them out of that abysmal performance on that power play, which he's at the helm. And often the time the captain of the ship, whether he's on the ice or not, falls on the sword, and that's him. And I don't think you can do anything else saying, sorry, you want us to give you the keys to everything when you were in charge of X and it was an absolute bloody disaster. Not necessarily your fault, but sorry, you're just not in line for a promotion based on that alone. And whether it's fair or not is irrelevant. I just don't think you can give him a massive promotion after what happened in the playoffs.
And to that point, I thought it was always interesting that a defensive guru, if you will, was brought in to run the power play. It just felt like the wrong fit from day one. And ironically enough, the last 2 guys to run the power play are now gone, Manny Malhotra and Guy Boucher. Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long-form interviews, we got clips, we got epic rants by Jay Rosehill. We simply have it all. And don't forget, you can find out much more at theleafsnation.com. Thanks so much for watching.